The decision to film without an audience, made for reasons both practical and creative, happened alongside Red Dwarf's first shoot with a new camera system, the appropriately named Red 1.
Right early on, Doug had said he was very keen to shoot on the Red camera, which is very new technology and a camera that's been much maligned. I was reluctant to use it to begin with because I'd heard bad stories, horror stories about it. But Doug was absolutely insistent on this, and I'm glad about that because it made me overcome my reluctance and open my mind to this camera, which is bringing about its own small little revolution in the industry, and we are, pretty up near the front of that as well.
But what's lovely about them is they have the optical characteristics of a classic 35mm film camera. And what I mean by that is that we get these lovely filmic kind of framings with the background out of focus. It just adds a lot of production value.
So what it means is we've got loads and loads and loads of data. So what happens is those data is coming off the drives. Those drives are loaded into this machine here, and then we have a massive, massive fibre RAID here, which is probably one of the biggest hard drives you can get. This is 24 terabytes for those who are interested, and everything to do with the film is saved on here, and then it's then downsized using this machine here, and then sent to the editors down a network, so those editors can edit the footage as quick as possible.
Normally I start the day after a shoot starts, because you shoot for a day and the rushes get transferred overnight and I come in the next day and start. On this job I started the afternoon of the first day, because morning shoot got transferred down the wire, which from the set down through the window into my machine, and I could start editing almost immediately.
Which is really cool because it means that Doug has the ability to find out what's working and what's not working as quick as possible. So if anything needs reshooting or if he needs to do any pickups, he knows before we leave the sets or before those sets are taken apart.
It's shooting a very large frame, what's called 4K. What we mean by 4K is if you think of high definition and you double it horizontally and double it vertically, that's how big it is. So if PAL is this big and HD is this big, 4K is out here. You might say, why do I need 4K? Like, what's the advantage of having something that large? Well, sometimes we want to reposition things, literally creep in the shot, sort of frame something, and we've got a lot of extra space there, we can do it.
An example is the scene with Simon Gregson, when he's watching them at the post box. He arrived and he stood there for the whole scene while they did their acting. And in the story, he stands there for the duration of quite a lot of the scene. Then he does his little bit and walks off. And it was realised that this was an unnaturally long time for him to be standing there. So we recut it. The wide shots included him, so we had to reframe to get him out of them. And it worked very well.
When you're shooting really, really fast and you haven't got time for the coverage, as we often didn't, and because we've only got one or sometimes two cameras, having that as a technique is just invaluable.
But not every piece of equipment proved as reliable as the Red.